No, I'm not going to wear that.
Oh, hello there, folks.
Hey there!
That was a weird...
A great place to start, right as I'm dropping the monocle and deciding whether to wear it or not.
You shouldn't.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to today because the chain's really messy looking.
True. But, so here we are again with another episode of Würfel Cast. It's episode 18 with the topic of the day, top 10 games from less known publishers.
There you go.
After a debate about...
A discussion about
who or what?
As small or not.
Yeah, what is a small publisher? Like, where's the line between the small publisher and the big publisher? Aren't we all small in this universe of board games? So that's that, and we're now gonna start with our usual show, and the first one we're gonna talk about our recent plays. And yeah, there was a tiny bit of modification. If you see the video, Kyle, now we have a small banner that says what topic do we have now.
There we go. Look at that.
That's the next level,
I need to open the video in case we have
Oh,
that's amazing.
I overdid myself. Yeah. Okay. So, Kyle, what have you played so far? I mean, it hasn't been so long ago.
It's been 6 days. I mean, that's enough time to play some games. And I have not talked about everything last time either, but I'll talk about what I played in the last few days.
Yeah. Oh, you start to talk like me.
Yeah. Anyway, so what have I been playing? Well, one thing that I've been playing is I finally got Edge of Darkness out.
Okay.
Edge of Darkness showed up, I don't know, 2 years ago. It's been a long time. And every time I'd get it out, I would open the rule book, and it is not the best rule book that there is. It's really quite difficult to learn the game from the rule book. The pictures are in the wrong place. It doesn't really, I don't know. I had a lot of problems with the rule book, and I finally got it set up, got through the rules, and gave it a play. Only one time, 2-player game. But first of all, it is, as you can see from that picture, an enormous table hog. It is a devourer of tables. I don't know that a table exists that's big enough to hold it. This table that you see clearly doesn't exist. Second of all, it's it's a successor to Mystic Veil, which is the game where you have the transparent cards and you slip them in a sleeve, and that sleeve becomes a card that has different abilities that get better. Mystic Veil was its own thing, and it was interesting. This does a different thing with it. You've got sort of a communal deck you're building, and you'll select cards from this row of cards, and if they're yours, you use them, and they're discarded back to the communal discard pile. If they're someone else's, they go to that person's hand for the next round. And you're sort of just doing things that get you points. Basically, you would look and see, okay, I can get points for doing this, this, and this, and you pick one of those and you decide to do it. Where the interesting part comes in is, you've got 10 different locations, which means 10 different kinds of cards that you can access during the game. And there are, in the base game, more than 30, and there are a couple of expansions now, so it's probably closer to 40, maybe even beyond 40 different sort of combinations that you can have. But that's not entirely true. You always use a certain number of a certain type of locations, but it's figuring out how you want to use the special abilities of the locations, the powers of the cards that you get, because they're tied to the locations, but they're different than the location special ability. There's some worker placement, sort of. I mean, you're not really blocking each other, but you're putting your workers out, taking them back to get special actions. Then there's that cube tower, that enormous gray block you see in the background is just a fancy cube tower. You drop cubes in, and they come out in 3 little wells, and there's a bad thing card above each well, and whoever has the most cubes in there is going to be affected by the bad thing. It doesn't really do anything to you, but if you don't beat it back, it knocks your score down a little bit. It's kind of, the game felt a little disjointed. Mm-hmm. It felt like pieces that have been done better in other games all kind of put together, but all together they also kind of worked. It's like no piece of it stands out as being amazing, But as a whole experience, I quite enjoyed it. I wish that I had gotten to play it sooner, and I look forward to playing it again. I'd like to try I tried 10 of the different locations. I'd like to try, the next 10 or something like that. I want to try the solo rules. I want to try, I think that if you played with more than 2 or maybe 3, it would probably take forever. So I'm not sure that I want to do that. It was pretty long as it was, especially because we were learning. But I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
It was. I'm glad I finally got it to the table. I don't think it's going to happen again anytime soon, though, just because the box is like Gloomhaven size. You can't really take it anywhere because where you're going to find a table that can hold it, and it's just there's a lot more in-depth learning that needs to go on in the game than is the kind of thing you could just pick up and play. But the next time I have a chance, if I have somebody staying here, for example, I would look forward to trying it again.
Okay. All right. So what else have you discovered?
What else have I discovered?
Played?
Well, so there was a Kickstarter about 6 months ago on Kickstarter for the Marvel United game.
Okay.
And they were supposed to be delivering it in August, but somehow or other Walmart got it early and put it out on their shelves for about 2 days. And so I ordered one on the Kickstarter, but I was curious about it since it was available there. I thought, well, I'll order another one, then I can play it, and I'll give my first one away when it comes as a gift for somebody maybe. Anyway, so I got it in that short window that it was open. It's now taken back down. You can't get it. Its street date is still coming sometime in August. But it is a cooperative game where you are some Marvel heroes and you're fighting a villain. It's very simple. It's a very simple game, almost for kids. It's, on your turn, you play a card and you do the actions that card gives you, and you've got some choices, right? And also the actions of the card that was played the turn before you. So you're sort of working together in that way, and you kind of lay out all the cards in this really long line, and that's kind of impractical because you run out of space and have to pick them up. And then some card says, take a card out of the line. And you're like, okay, well, what am I going to do now? There are 3 villains and 7 heroes in the box, I think. The heroes feel kind of samey. Like, I couldn't really tell that it was the Incredible Hulk versus Ant-Man. You think you'd be able to tell the difference between those two. The villains also felt samey, but they kind of started to feel a little bit different.
Okay.
But really what they're doing is low-level crime in New York City rather than end-the-world plots. So I think the game is good, but I'm not sure it's amazing. Now, that said, the Kickstarter version, when it comes, is going to have, instead of 3 villains, it's like 100. And instead of 7 heroes, it's 70. So it's going to be a lot more interesting, and maybe some of those other rules and other modules might breathe some life into the game. As it is, it was just okay.
Okay. Yeah. No, it looks boring.
It's not boring, but it's not. It doesn't feel like a superhero
looks...
game. That's the problem. Is that the superheroes didn't feel like they were superheroes.
Okay. No. Probably it probably is something that you wanna have like as a streamlined game for like Walmart or something like that, or Target.
Yeah, it's like that, clearly that's who it was intended
for. Family game, kids game, yeah.
And for your 10-year-old son who loves Marvel superheroes, maybe it's great, and maybe some of the added content might improve my experience with it. I'm excited to wait and see. I'll definitely give it another try when more comes out.
Okay, all right. So what I want to talk about, I want to briefly mention that since last time I managed to play one game, and I'm going to talk about games that I played before because we had a big pile of games that we played. But I mean, like, I just want to mention Empires of the Void 2 that I played again, which is great, and I played it with 3 players. So, and it's only, I mean, it works. It's cooler with more players, though it works totally fine with 2. It was a great experience.
Good
with more players. So, and yeah. still holds for me. But let's talk about another game, because we talked about Emperors before. We're going to talk about Cartographers that I played. Yeah, I've played it a few times with a few folks. But my first play, by the way, was solo. So
it works well solo.
I'm learning. I'm learning from the masters. But I mean,
Did you use colored pencils? Is the question.
No. I had the usual ones. I just took the box with me. So I don't remember where did I play it. Oh, I went outside to just to just sit some folks. It was a great weather summer. I was like, does anybody want to play? We're gonna sit outside and.
You want to play Cartographers?
Yeah, anybody want to play Cartographers? I'm like, everybody was busy, but I just played alone. I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter. I got a drink and then I just started playing that, and
you had a drink and started playing with yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
that's totally fine. Don't be scared. But anyway, yeah, Cartographers is an extremely simple game where you use Tetris shape, like kind of Tetris shapes basically, that you get from the cards that you draw. It doesn't really show here, but you can see a few cards. And when you draw these cards, they show you those Tetris shapes that you can draw on your player sheet, and what landscape it should be. And you can sometimes choose, and you wanna fit things on your player sheet as better as possible. That's basically the whole game. And you're trying to collect some coins to get extra points, and you're building those shapes on your player sheets in a way that you can score points based on the 4 scorings that are scoring cards that are on the table. And there are different seasons, 4 seasons, and each season 2 different scoring cards are gonna be used for scoring. And they give you all sorts of different things, like if you have forest next to the mountains, if you have fields and water next to each other, or whatever, next to temples, whatever, all this usual stuff. And it's extremely simple, and you have kind of a time track going on with the cards, because the cards themselves have numbers on them, and if you hit the certain threshold, then you have to stop and you go to the next round. And some of the cards are monster cards, and I liked it more with more players, because then the monster cards are really evil, like monsters. Because with monster cards, you don't draw yourself, but you give that to the next player, and then they are gonna draw the shape. But what are you gonna do? They're trying to draw it somewhere you don't want to. Want it to be drawn. So that's really cool. That's what I like. So, and it's simple. You just pull the card, you turn over the card, you draw a shape, you go to the next card, and then you score different aspects as you go through different seasons. That's it. It's nothing more, nothing less, but it's extremely engaging, especially having the whole map in front of you, and in the beginning you have a lot of empty spaces, and then you're trying to kind of figure out what should you do. And you should never, you think at first you are not scoring many points, but at the end you're going to score your first scoring card again, which is really cool, because at that point, if you are smart enough, you can prepare for that. which I do like the variety of scoring. And at some point, those middle cards, like for example the B card is going to score 2 times, and then it's going to be gone, and then you can focus on other stuff. You don't want it, it helps you not to focus on too many things at once,
right?
As well,
it's almost it's the same sort of scoring mechanism that you see in Isle of Skye.
Yeah.
When you've got, a couple of things, and each thing is going to score a certain number of times, and you can see when it's going to happen. It's not like there's a surprise. I do wish I've played the game a lot more times than you have. I'm assuming. I do wish it had maybe twice as many scoring cards, and maybe maybe a few different monster cards, because the ones that you have, you've only got 4, and so you're going to see the same 4 monsters, well, up to 4 monsters each game. Although there's a promo pack that I just recently ordered that has 4 different monsters in it, and so I think that'll add some variety.
Yeah, I've heard about that one, and I'm sure it's gonna get some expansions because it got a lot of buzz.
It will.
It should get, because I think you can add mechanics here, and if somebody wants to play as a family type game with extremely simple rules, they can stick to that game, and there is enough game in there.
Mm-hmm.
You can play it for a long time. But if somebody wants to have some depth on after like 10, 15 plays, for example, then there should be an expansion for that.
It's also very portable. It's a very small box, and yet it somehow, some things are in a small box like Burgle Brothers, and it's like a puzzle to put it back in. This fits nicely in its small box.
Yeah, and that's why I took it with me. Plus, I mean, like it's only a few cards and things. Yeah, it's more like drawing stuff,
I've played many a game of Cartographers at an airport.
Okay, yeah, true that. All right, so let's go to my other recent play, and of course, I played Homesteaders again. And I played with the expansion. Not all people I play with have played Homesteaders. It's a simple game. I don't know if there is a picture of the newer version. Who cares? Okay, I'm just going to show you that.
It doesn't look that different.
I mean, like they are. This is the Queen It Games version. It's not. I have the deluxe version, which has some better pieces, but mostly there's not much of the art on the board. But I mean, this is a game about, and you can see it here. This is a game about the auction, and you're auctioning. I mean, this is the wrong picture. I mean, the TMG version is looking a little bit better, but maybe. So this is a game about the auctions and building, and this is an engine building game. I've talked about that a lot, and I really like this simple nature of auction in here, and that you can go above and beyond with how much you bid, and there's a threshold as well on the bidding board. But you can bid more than you have money, but then you have to take a loan, and it's quite a few negative points. But I mean, like it's cool because the cool part about that is that I can go beyond my limits, but then I have to get some negative points. That's what I like about the auctions, not limiting me with the money I have, because maybe I had a bad turn. Sure. I can come back from that by just taking the loan, and then you are bidding for those contracts, I would say, that let you build different buildings, and those buildings give you more income, more different resources, worker spots, because you have so few little workers there. You put workers on those worker spots, you can get more income. And it's an engine building game. You're building up your row of different buildings, trying to get resources from that, so you can use them in order to build new things and then to get points, etc. And all the buildings, basically, from like, there are different phases of the game: the settlement phase, and the town phase, and city phase. And you have quite a few different buildings in front of you. So you don't have like just, few cards or like 3-4 buildings over you. You have quite a few of them. So you can prepare for them. Like, oh, I want to build that stuff, I need to get those resources. Yeah. And the cool part as well is that there is the market. Each one of you will have a tile, which is a small market, and you can sell and buy stuff all the time.
That's what a market.
Anytime. Yeah, but I like that market. It's not like you can buy it then or there. It's not the central market. It's everybody. But then you need the trade sheets, and the trade sheets you can get by getting certain buildings as well. So you have to kind of do this stuff. And there's the not the catch-up mechanic, but somebody who loses an auction will get a chance to get a small bonus instead. The cool part about that is there's the expansion now, which adds events, the new beginning, and events are really
eventful.
Yeah, I would say that they are small. They don't add a huge amount of new gameplay there. And the expansion also adds the 5th player. I don't care, but the purple color is good. But it also adds a few new buildings. But the events are cool because they give kind of all these auctions are almost the same, except if you win the auction one, then you get to pick first from the buildings you have and build first. But now all those events give you some extra bonuses if you're on auction one, or give you overall bonuses to whoever has the most of that or least of that or whatever. They spice up each round with something a little bit different, which I do like. So Homesteaders, still a great game. I like it very much, and the people I play with also liked it. It's just such a simple, streamlined engine building. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So that's that. And now let me just do something else here. We're going to go to a desired play. Desired play is about the games, or one game each that we really want to get to the table as soon as possible, like tonight, now. Okay, what's your desired play?
My desired play actually just arrived today, and I have not gone through it yet. I saw a review up on it, and it looked really interesting, and so I ordered a copy. It looks a lot like a book, because it is. It's called 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, and it is essentially a solo RPG game, and you go through and you have events, and then you write sort of a journal. I don't know if you'll see it there. You probably will. Everything's on there. But
1,000 Years of Blood? No,
it's called 1,000-Year-Old Vampire.
No, it's not here. Okay.
It's basically a book, but it's a solo RPG, and it's about you sort of keep a journal. You're a vampire. You're trying to remember things, but you can only have so many memories as over time, and you're kind of telling a story and going through it and having there's experiences, and you'll, I think, roll it. I haven't read through it yet, and go back and record different events, and you're sort of there you go, you found it. And you're developing a story for yourself. It's, like I said, a solo RPG. The book looks pretty interesting. It's got lots of illustrations in it. It looks almost like an artifact. And it's just a game that I think will be a lot of fun, especially while I'm alone, because I can have a little story and have an adventure
all by myself
and become a 1,000-year-old vampire. I mean, who doesn't want to do that?
All by yourself.
Well, I mean, I could be a 1,000-year-old vampire with you if you'd like, but I do think it is a game for one.
Yeah.
And it is intended for mature players. I don't know what these vampires are doing. Probably not sparkling in the sunlight.
Sucking on blood.
Sucking on something.
No, there. Please.
Well, maybe
we're losing viewers already.
Anyway, that's the desired play. It's not really the normal thing we talk about. If you were looking for a game I've desired to play, I have a lot of those, but let's let it be this. I can talk about those another time.
Yeah. All right. So my desired play is something I want to play again because of the Empires of the Void 2 that we talked about before, and that's Rising Sun. No, it's Empire Episode of the Void 1. No, it's Rising Sun, because I mean, it has the similar concept of choosing and then following the action, or
again.
What?
I've got to get my Rising Sun out again too.
Yeah, I haven't had the chance, because it's when you show it to somebody, it looks like such a huge game. It's not overly complicated, but it looks so big, and
it doesn't work with two.
And it doesn't. Yeah, I want to play it as a 4-player game. I play with 3 players.
It works with 3 and 4 pretty well. I don't know if I'd go above that, but
yeah. But I mean, Rising Sun is an area control maturity game where you are a clan in mythic Japan. Yeah, I mean, and then you're trying to conquer those different territories, and each round, or say each time, different territories score. Not all of them score at once, which is cool. I like that.
Yeah.
So it's not like sometimes you have to concentrate your troops here and then sometimes there. So it's a lot of movement involved. And although different clans are different, and the combat is really cool because you have your like a player sheet where you can put the coins on during the battle phase, and then you can manipulate the battle before it even begins. So if you're on a losing side as of now, because you have less troops, you can still win by using right skills on your player mat. And all this usual stuff like in Blood Rage as well. But you buy cards from the center, you don't draft them, but you get all those different monsters and cool abilities, and it's like kind of a small engine building within your clan. You're making your clan different from everybody else, plus your special ability, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I do have the Kickstarter version with the playmats. Yeah, it's cool. It's huge. Everything is plastic. It's like all plastic components, if you know what I mean. It's like
I do know what you mean.
Yeah, and yeah, it has negotiation as well. But I think we forgot about this tea. Is it the tea party? No, not tea party, but something about tea.
The tea ceremony.
Tea ceremony. Yeah, it was the negotiation phase. But we started playing and then we forgot about that. And then we're like, oh, we don't care about that anyway. Like we had so much fun playing without that. That we're like,
you probably did it right. I mean, all you do during that phase is decide who your ally is going to be, so you can share the special ability.
Yeah, that's what we skipped that basically.
Oh, you didn't skip that entirely. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it wasn't that.
I guess nobody could agree.
Yeah, I mean, we played as a 3-player game, and as a 3-player game, I think it's not such a great idea. And I don't like negotiation, and nobody of us liked negotiation anyway, so we were totally fine with that.
I have never played with a lot of negotiation. I've played with just a little bit, and I think it's just. I mean, I would balk at a game where people were doing a lot of negotiation and dragging that phase on, because that phase is definitely the least interesting part of the game.
Yeah,
it's interesting because you can pair up with somebody and share special abilities, like the main action of those tiles you take, but. Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. It's the least interesting part of the game.
It was so unintuitive that we forgot about that. That's how useless it is, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, there's a lot.
A book that had all the rules in it.
Oh yes. But I mean, like, it's
I don't know, some sort of an aid for the players so that they could remember the phases of the game.
A better one, yes. But I mean, like, this game is huge. This game, I have like a ton of Kickstarter exclusives and expansion. The big one I got as well.
Have you seen mine?
Yeah. What?
Have you seen mine in the big painted chest with all the painted?
Oh yeah.
I've not played it since I got it. I mean, I played the older version that was unpainted and boring, but I've not had a chance to play my nice painted version.
Yeah, we should play it as well. But I want to get it to the table as soon as possible. Anyway, that's the Desire Play, and now we should go to our next segment, which is Guess That Game. And in Guess That Game, we guess those games. That's the easiest I can come up with. But I mean, like, it's you can play with us. You can play along. We're gonna shout out a few hints about a certain game, and then we try to guess which game is it. So, do you want to start?
I will start. All right.
Okay.
So the first game I have to talk about is a deck building game.
It's Arctic Scavengers.
It is not Arctic Scavengers. I've never played Arctic Scavengers.
Oh, you should. It's a nice game.
This is a deck building game in which when you buy a card, you get a new piece to put on the board.
Oh, I haven't played that one. Is it the... it's not the Architects of the Fifth Kingdom. No, it's only... Is it? No, it's not. There's no deck building there. Okay.
This is a game in which when you can coal your deck by having one of those pieces killed.
Few acres of snow.
That's a good guess. And actually, I need to play that game again. But no, it's not that one.
Okay.
This is, however, a war-themed deck building.
Oh, Mythotopia?
No, although that's the same game as A Few Acres of Snow, just for more players.
Yeah, basically. Okay.
No, it's not that one. This game, the war it's in is the Second World War.
Is it the Undaunted?
It is the Undaunted.
Yeah, I haven't played that one.
Oh, well, I have played it, and it's pretty good. And I just got a new expansion that I'm interested in trying.
The African Front.
Yeah, I just got that a couple days ago.
Okay.
I like the game. The scenarios aren't super balanced, but they're fun. So
Okay, that's nice.
There you go. You guessed it.
I should play it definitely at some point. All right. So the game I'm going to talk about has anthropomorphic animals in it.
Is it Dale of Merchants?
No, it's not. It's a Take That game.
Is it Beastie Bar?
Oh, you got it.
Oh, there we go.
That was quick. Yeah.
I have played a lot of Beastie Bar since you taught it to me.
Oh, I see. Really? Did I teach it to you?
Yeah, in Estonia.
And was it out in US at that point?
No, but I bought it anyway.
Oh, it's from Zockverlag.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, is it out in US right now? Is
Yeah,
it like
all three versions are out now.
3 versions? I played on 2.
Yeah, the
I wanna
third
play it
one's
again.
not the best. The third one's weird. I don't love the third one, but I like the first two. I especially like the first one.
The first one was the better one, yeah. I mean, like, it was so intuitive, and then the second one was a little bit. Some of the abilities were off-putting. Anyway,
And the third one is even more like.
they tried to come up with something,
It's a little too much innovation and a little too little streamlining. But the first game's fantastic, and it's one of my go-to travel games, especially if I've only got one in person.
We should play it again.
Well, we should.
All right. So your next game we'll talk about?
This is an exploration game.
Exploration game. I would say it's something. Give me another hint.
This exploration takes place in a dungeon.
Oh, this is the vast.
The Crystal Caverns? No, that takes place in the Crystal Cavern.
Oh, so you said tavern? Or you
no. No. So it's an exploration game in a dungeon. There are monsters in this dungeon.
Oh, Gloomhaven. I don't know.
No. In this game, you are building the dungeon out of square tiles that are a little too big for the table.
Oh. Square tiles?
Mm-hmm.
Building the dungeon with square. Oh, is it Mice and Mystics?
No, they're smaller than those, fortunately. This game is not cooperative.
Was it the what's the 2-player dungeon crawl game? I remember that the Z likes it very much. The something with C.
Oh, Catacombs?
No, not the Catacombs. It was
No, not Catacombs. Claustrophobia, you mean?
Claustrophobia, yes. Yeah,
it's not Claustrophobia.
Okay.
In this game, you are trying to get to the end of the dungeon, kill the boss, steal his treasure, and be the first person to make it out.
I mean, okay. I don't know.
The treasure the boss is holding is a summoning stone.
Is it the something? I don't know. I don't play dungeon crawls at all.
Last clue, second published game from Plaid Hat.
Oh, it's the I know that game. I've never played that, but I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name. I just don't remember the name.
The name is Dungeon Run.
Okay, yeah. I've seen that. I looked at that, but because it was dungeon crawl, I was like, no, I don't care.
It's a good game. The rules were terrible. Plaid Hat had promised a second version, like a 2.0, that would have improved rules, but it never ended up coming around. The game's
Mm-hmm.
fun, but it's very lucky, and you're unable. You can upgrade your abilities, but there's just not enough opportunity to do so. So it kind of, it's a fun relic, and I
Okay.
enjoy it. I played it with my brother and with Victor in Las Vegas a couple of months in February, and I had a good time. But it's not going to win any awards, but it was fun.
Okay. All right. So my next one I want to talk about is this. This is a game about mages.
Is it Mage Wars?
No. This game has very colorful player boards.
Is it? Oh, no.
You'll guess it. So I'll give you another hint, and then you'll guess
Okay.
it. It's an area majority game.
What?
What?
Is
Area
it-
majority game.
Area majority game
Yeah.
with wizards competing for area majority.
Yeah, mages, wizards, whatever they are.
Okay, mages keep. Give me another one.
You have the spells. You as a player have the spells of different levels.
I'm probably going to kick myself when I don't get it. Spells, different levels. Is it Black Rose Wars?
No. You'll get it now. The last clue is an easy one. It came out around the same time as Everdell.
Oh, geez, I know which one you mean. Is it? What is that called? I bought it the same day I bought Everdell.
Yes, that's the one.
Is it
You know,
where you've got the textiles and you're going around it?
yeah, it has this foil.
I can't remember its
and-
name, but I know which one you mean.
It's Archmage.
Archmage, there you go.
Yeah, you got yeah.
I bought it the same day I bought Everdell.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I played it. It has problems, though.
I got its expansion, but I haven't tried that yet.
I mean, somebody who commented something to me that I know nothing about, like how good this game is, and like, okay, yeah.
Well, I can see the appeal. The solo game isn't very much fun, though, and that's the only thing I played in it.
I gave it few plays, and both of these plays, all of the players agreed that it's not a very good game because it
Sounds
just
like it didn't work with your group. I would like to give it another try.
not even my group. I played it with people I don't play usually at all. I mean, like, so we played in the board game camp.
Oh.
So I gave it a few tries, and then everybody said no.
Very well.
All right, so that's I guess that game. We should go to another topic, and that is what's on Kickstarter, what's on KS. We should go to Kickstarter now and see what happens. So we're going to talk about a game that's on Kickstarter.
Is it the one you talked to me about before?
No,
Okay.
let's not talk about that particular game that I discovered and shared with you gracefully. And we should both not talk about that at all.
Okay, good.
But if somebody wants to know, you can PM me and I will send you a link. I'll put it in the description below.
What was that game that you said that sounded a lot like that word? Oh, it was that word. Dick Circus.
Oh, Dext Circus.
Yes, Dick Circus. Okay.
Dext Circus. Yeah.
Anyway, let's proceed.
All right. So, Kyle, what's your Kickstarter?
Well, there are right this week. There's not all that much that's interesting. The only one that really caught my eye was Perseverance, Castaway Chronicles.
It's been there for a while.
It has, but I didn't talk about it last time, and so that's the one I'll talk about. I don't know anything about it other than that it's by a company that I generally like. It looks like it'll be interesting, and I'm excited to find out more about it. But my
How do you spell that? I don't
Kickstarter
know.
is just the worst search engine.
I mean,
It's called Perseverance Castaway Chronicles, I thought.
I tried. Okay.
I mean, it's by the same people who did Anachrony, I think.
Huh. Okay.
You might have just have written it incorrectly.
Okay, let it be. You can talk about that.
We have a game that we can't show. It's Perseverance. You have an extra R in there.
Oh,
Perseverance.
that's why. Okay.
But who knows if you? I saw it there. There you go. There you go. I mean, I like the other games that they have done. I like. I know you like Anachrony. I like that one about the brain, the cerebria, even though it's impossible to play. I like it in concept. It's a bunch of standalone games with kind of a connecting story that's going to, connect them together. It looks. I haven't done a whole lot of work into figuring out what it is, but there's a big box version with like windows on it. Oh, there you see it right there. So that's my game of the week, I guess. This is a weak week for Kickstarter. There are, however, dinosaurs in the game, and anytime there are dinosaurs, it usually makes me excited.
Yeah.
I never got over dinosaurs as a child.
They look cool. They look nice, but I'm starting to get tired of the enormous amount of plastic everywhere. I want to go back to that wooden elements and things. So I'm not going to
we talk about our topic of the week. We'll talk about some games with wooden elements. I'll tell you.
I'm sure it's a great game. I'm sure I will probably love it because I do like all of their designs. I mean, Tricerion, then Anachrony. It's David Turczi basically. So I was looking forward to that game. I've heard about that one a long time ago. So it's like it was on my wish list for like 2 years. And but I mean, like, I don't care about the dinosaur the miniatures, and I'm gonna get it when it's out.
Fair enough.
And tested by somebody because
me.
well, no, and I'm afraid. The problem is, I'm afraid, like with the Anachrony, it's so hard to get it on the table, and I'm afraid it's gonna be the same with that one. And if I have both Anachrony and that one, and then some other third game that's also heavy, it's getting so hard to get these games on the table.
I understand. I almost didn't back it just because of that reason, because it looks like the kind of game that I'll love to play and just never will. But then I thought, well, I know I'm going to end up buying it eventually, so why not?
Yeah, I'm just forcing Anachrony into my game night. So, but because I have
wars.
The usual players I play with, they are AP prone kinda. I mean, so that's where we struggle, even with like simpler games. So Anachronies especially, but I don't care. I mean, like, it's fun to play with them. They're fun people. So that's I can overlook that. But I mean, with that one, I just feel like if I'm gonna show that to them, and then they're gonna just die from brain malfunction, something like that.
Fair enough. So what did you pick?
Anyway, my pick of the week. we're referencing Dice Tower. Anyway, my pick of the week is a smaller one from Smirk and Dagger. That's the Night Cage. I saw that. It looks interesting because, as I told you, I'm very much tired from these huge games that have a ton of plastic, but maybe in just a simple, more abstract game. But this one looks very simple. You explore the dungeon or whatever, the Night Cage, and you're trying to get the key as a group. It's a cooperative game, and then get out and find the exit and something like that. And you can only see the tiles that are adjacent to you orthogonally each time. And then if you go further, the tiles will go away and things, and they will disappear into darkness. As you can see here, it's like you have it's thematically like you have a candle, and you can see only the narrow surroundings. And then there are some, before you meet what waits beyond your light, and I don't know what it is, some monsters. It looks extremely simple tiling game with a little bit of exploration. I think it will be extremely accessible. So
all right,
that's my pick of the KS.
Very well.
Oh wait, there are flickering LED candle status lights. Ooh, I like that.
You know, you can buy those at IKEA.
I know.
Okay.
Shut up and take my money. Okay. Right. Anyway, so we should go back to Board Game Geek, and I think we are ready to kick in with our top 10.
All right.
And we're going to talk about top 10 games from less known publishers.
Yeah.
What I want to tell right away, it was like we had a debate on what is a small publishers. That's why you suggested to change the name to less known publishers, because that way it's hard. It's hard to say who is small.
Right.
Very hard. It's a little bit less hard, but it was still hard to kind of pick those games, because like, are they? I think they're fairly known, and then these are fairly known, but are they? I have few games and let's say few publishers that are somewhat known, or they are known in their own country as distributors of like the localization thing going on, like
sure.
But they aren't like so widely known in a board gaming world.
Yeah, I have a couple that are like maybe known because of one game, but maybe you don't even know the name. Well, one of them maybe. I don't know. One feels like a bit of a cheat, but it also is not that well known of a name. So,
what about the co-publishing? We talked about Terraforming Mars before, and
yeah,
so on,
I didn't put. At least I tried not to put. I made an effort not to put things on my list that are kind of published locally by one small group that maybe developed it, but then it got picked up by Asmodee or something. I mean, I didn't do that.
I have a few games.
Publishers that are just really, maybe, I bet if I say the name, you won't know the company. I mean, you might not even know the game.
Okay, yeah. I tried to pick those games as well that are...
I might have failed.
They're kind of known games. Not all of them are known games, but the publishers...
Known-ish.
Yeah, the publishers are less known, and I tried to avoid. So I think I avoided the games that were. There may be some reprints, but on a very small scale. But I tried to avoid the ones that were picked up by, like, for example, TMG has picked up a ton of different games that they like.
Yeah.
But I cannot put them there because you know them and you know these games through TMG. Though there are some really small publishers behind them. So anyway, without further ado, let's start with you, Kyle, and
all right.
The fancy technology says it's Kyle's number 10.
Okay, so what I'm going to do as I introduce it is first I'm going to say the publisher name and see if you can guess the game.
Oh, because I forgot to. I might not remember all the names exactly.
You don't have to do that. That's what I had planned to do, just to sort of see it. So the first publisher, this is a game that you actually asked me to bring to Estonia one time, and I brought it, and we didn't end up playing it, and then I haven't thought about it for a while.
Okay.
The publisher is Dyskami Publishing Company. That's Dyskami.
Dyskami Publishing Company.
And it's a game that is one of the a game without a lot of miniatures. This game is cubes. The game is called Warband Against the Darkness.
Oh yeah, okay.
And it is a lesser known publisher for sure, and the game has kind of came and went. But it's a really interesting, Euro type game of area control with a fantasy theme kind of layered on, but you've got special abilities, and you've got one of my favorite mechanisms, which is you've got a board and it has things covered up, and as you uncover them, the things get better. So
Yeah.
it's the only game that I know of that this company put out. It's one that I have not even thought of for a couple of years, but because I'm moving now, I've been unpacking things and I've sort of been touching everything, and so I have a better sense of what I've got. And I was like, oh, I remember this game. And so when we talked about the topic, it was one of the first things I thought of as a great game from a lesser known publisher.
All right. Warbands. I've never played it. As I said, we never played it, but I think I still want to try it. When I look at that, it looks really cool. I like it.
I suspect it's probably hard to find now, but you might be able to find it on eBay or maybe in a bargain bin. I just don't think it's still in print. In fact, I clicked their website and it took me to it. It was a dead link.
Okay, yeah, probably. All right, so let's go to my number 10. Back. So my number 10 is a game from. It was something like Hush Hush Project or something like that. Do you know that?
No, I don't know that.
I don't know if it was picked up by somebody, but
no.
It's a game about love.
Oh, is it
The Fog of Love?
Fog of Love? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I try to put games on this list that are also like kind of promote kind of unique games or the games that are also less known. So and give it so the people can give it a try. But Fog of Love is something unique. Because it's a 2-player game about going on a date or something like that, like a game for a couple, about a couple. It feels a little bit like RPG, a story game, and you have different choices, and then you get different, like, not the points, but I don't know what they are, but it's a game of experience.
But, yeah.
It's really hard to explain. It's a game of experience playing as a couple. So
right, or with a friend.
I play with a friend.
Yeah, I'm not in a relationship, so it wouldn't matter for me anyway. But
we had a ton of fun. I mean, like, it was so fun to do that.
It is a very interesting game, and I think, as far as I know, the only game by this publisher. This company has been. I mean, it's distributed widely. It's widely available. It's in Walmart's.
Hush Hush Projects. Yeah. I knew nothing about this publisher. I don't know anything about this publisher as of now as well. So, all right. So let's go to Kyle's number 9.
My number 9. This is a company with a sensible name. The company is called Sensible Object.
Is it Sensible the game?
No. The game is called Beasts of Balance. Beasts of Balance is a gimmick, but it's also a game. And you've got this platform, and you're balancing these. You take these animals and you scan them into an app, and then you balance them on this platform. And based upon the order in which you place them, they'll do different things, and you'll score points in different ways. And you can crossbreed different animals or move them to different areas. It's really a lot of fun. It's really a one-player game. But it's definitely not a well-known, Sensible Object Publishing, as far as I know, is not a household name in board games. But it's a really interesting game. It's definitely worth trying. It might be a little too expensive just to buy, just because. But it looks great. It's just, it's a game you can sit down and play again. And I like Beasts of Balance.
It's their only game. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I told you, it's a lesser-known publisher.
It is. All right, let's go to no. Yeah. Let's go to my number 9. So my number 9 is from a publisher called Peacekeeper Games. I think they did another game. You probably know them. The Rurik.
I've heard of them before.
Rurik.
They did do Rurik.
The Kiev something.
Dawn of Kiev. Mm-hmm.
Dawn of Kiev. Yeah, and this game is Flag Dash. I haven't played Rurik, but it wasn't my favorite game of all time. But Flag Dash is a unique experience because it's a game about getting the flag. It's a team-based game
And
and dashing, yeah. And you have those different people which have different abilities, and you are trying to catch the flag. And those little meeples, they have holes in them, so you can take the flag and put the flag into those meeples, so they can kind of carry the flag. So, yeah, a flag game. So, yeah, a kind of unique experience in my opinion. Small, but we did a Blender segment on that as well.
Yeah, you did. I remember.
So that was a nice, different, unique experience.
Good.
So that's that. Flag Dash, number 9. Let's go to number 8.
My number 8 is this is one of the better known games on the list, but the publisher is Far Off Games.
Oh, it's the Farlight. No, not the Farlight. I know the publisher, but tell me about the game, then I know it.
The game is a space exploration game. It is called Zaya. Legend System.
Far Off Games. Okay.
It's a big space exploration sandboxy game that's a roll and move game. It really is, but it's a lot of fun. You're building up your spaceships, and you can really do just about anything you want. You can travel around and explore. You can attack people. You can pick stuff up and drive it across the galaxy and drop it off. Lots of different ways to play. There's an expansion or 2, I think. It looks great too. It was a Kickstarter game, but it was really well done. It was one of the earlier Kickstarter games that did it right. It's not for everybody. It's kind of long, but I really like it, and it's definitely a lesser-known publisher. I'm aware of one other game by that publisher, which was a weird game about surfing.
Okay.
There you go. Zaya, Legend of a Drift System.
Okay. Never played that one. So
we're not going to have a ton of overlap, probably.
Yeah. My number 8 is a game that you know about it very well, and I think we have popularized this game a bit through Board Game Blender. There was a sketch in a segment. This game is published by Polish Institution of History or something like
that. This is Kolejka.
Yeah, it is. So Kolejka, yeah, I mean, it's a cool game. I wanted to put it on the list because it's such a different game. And you see, Institute Pamięci Narodowej. So it's something like the National Institution of History, something like that. So, and in this game, you're sitting in a queue, and like every player has their family, and you have a shopping list. Mm-hmm. You need to get you need to get 3 foods, 4 toilet paper things, something like that. A little bit of furniture and things. Weird stuff.
It's a game about red lines.
Yeah. About queues, about lines. And the manipulation part comes in where everybody has their own cards, and there's the take that element as well, where you are trying to force yourself at the front of the line because there's the delivery. And the thing is that not every shop will have a delivery. And you know about that maybe partially. And you want to get yourself in a queue because there's only a certain amount of those things, and it's only in that shop, And there's the vodka expansion. I play with that, but I don't remember exactly. Vodka gives you it kind of mitigates the luck a little bit more, and it kind of helps you more to get like it was a black market or something like that. You can give vodka in order to get some things. So simple, but a really cool kind of a worker placement with worker movement type of game. I haven't seen anything else like that. Yeah. It's unique.
Well, and thematically, it's different. It's unlike your usual theme. So
yeah, it's unique to this day. It's never been. I haven't seen any game using that cube mechanic or something like that. Maybe they used it a little bit, kind of like something like that, but I haven't seen that.
Bar essentially does it, but
What?
For in a different way.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, it's a good one. It's definitely a less-known game publisher.
But they are known in Poland, I think, as an institution. Okay, anyway, Kyle's number 7.
My number 7 is a company called PSC Games. That's PSC for Plastic Soldier Company.
Oh, they make plastic soldiers?
I don't think they do. I mean, maybe they do, but there aren't any in the game that I'm going to talk about.
Oh, they make wooden cubes.
They do definitely have those.
Oh. I guess that game.
Even more cardboard chits in this game called Blitzkrieg.
Oh, I see. I haven't played that one.
This is it's a fantastic little 2-player game. It's really a tight 2-player game, perfect for traveling. You're drawing chits out of a bag and you're placing them, trying to manipulate the position of a cube or 2 on a track.
Is the new one?
It's the Paulo Mori one. It's like I think the full name is Blitzkrieg World War II in 20 minutes or less, or something like some really snappy like that. If you type in Blitzkrieg, I'm sure it will be.
Oh, I see. Got it.
Comes up.
There's so many games with Blitzkrieg.
It's not the best name, and the components aren't that great. And honestly, it doesn't look all that great, but it's really a lot of fun. And it's a tight back and forth, almost Twilight Struggle or Watergate type game.
That's why I'm skipping that.
But without the cards, without the reading. And then there's this crazy Japanese expansion where the Japanese, it's sort of like Man in the High Castle, and the Germans are invading the United States, which has been conquered by Japan, or maybe the other way around. I don't know. And that one I actually like a little bit better because instead of, one theater that you're going back and forth in, there's a bunch of small ones. And so you've got a bunch of different tracks and you can kind of choose which one's coming next based on what the bonuses you've got. Mm-hmm. It really works well. It's totally worth the 20 minutes it takes to play it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I see they published the Martin Wallace games as well. So,
well, I had not heard of them other than this company. Or this game.
This game re-implements the game called Guerralampo.
I have not played Guerralampo, although it does look the same.
Probably the components look even worse here. So you're fine with your game. But it's Paulo Mori, it's the same.
The company made the pieces like the U.S. and German pieces. I don't know why it's the U.S. and Germany in World War II anyway. But the pieces are almost the same color. It's really kind of crazy, some of the choices that were made.
All right, so my number 7. I forgot what's my number 7. I'm sorry. My number 7 is a game from Josh Capel, I think.
Okay.
I think it's his publishing company or something like that, maybe. But it's about gardens and about planting some seeds, and they grow into vegetables, and use your dice.
Is it garden dice?
It is garden dice. It's easy, yes, it is. So yeah, I do like garden dice. It has few, if not few. The biggest flaw with garden dice is that it's long for
it is a little bit long.
For a 4-player game, because there's no. Doug Bass is the designer artist, Josh Capel. Okay, it's Merry Day Games, and in this game you are planting seeds, and this is the prototype version. But you're planting seeds and crops, and then watering them. But it has cool mechanic of chain reaction. So if you water something of your own, if there are vegetables that are of a lesser value next to you, then you water them as well. Doesn't matter what color they belong to. Right. So the other players can become kind of a symbiotes and parasites to your field. And you're trying to collect the most points. But basically, it's like a set collection, trying to collect the different sets of those tomatoes and paprika, whatever.
Peppers. Mm-hmm.
Peppers and, carrots and things. and it has those different like bird and whatever the critters, rabbit that
Isn't
you
there like a
use.
gopher in it?
What?
Isn't there a gopher in it?
Oh, is it? I don't
I don't
remember.
remember. It's been a while.
Yeah, some critters. Oh, there's a rabbit and the bird. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and gnomes as well. Yeah, I think.
And gnomes, of course.
So, but anyway, there's to take that with eating the seeds from the other animals from the other players.
Sure.
And it's along with 4 players because there is no simultaneous things going on, and you're looking at the board and trying to, because you roll the dice and you can use those dice, because if you can see here at the edge of the map, you have the dice values, and the value, you can use the value of 2 dice, like 5 and 3, in order to plant it here on a crossing of 5 and 3, you know, and so on. So there's dice luck as well. So
Yep.
not everybody likes it, but it's a nice, cool game.
It's been a while since I played that.
Yeah, I don't even know how to explain that game. Anyway, your number 6.
All right, my number 6 is a game by a company called Sinister Fish Publishing.
It's a game about what's that? I don't remember. Well, maybe, yeah.
The company's name makes it sound like the game's going to have a more exciting theme than it does. The game is called Villagers. Villagers, you've got cards. It's basically a card game, and you're building these chains. So you're going to play down a certain number of villagers. You're going to draft some cards and play them down. And you put one on top of another. There's different prerequisites, and you make this nice chain to get to sort of these higher point scoring cards. That's really what it is. There's a couple of different modules and expansions and other things you can add to it, and a weird solo game that doesn't work all that well. But as just a 2-player game, especially, Villagers is a lot of fun, and it's not long. It is really short. I mean, you barely have enough time to get your thing going, and it's done. But it's a great little game of just sort of choosing your cards, making these combinations, and getting bonuses based on what you put out there. Maybe if somebody wants to upgrade something else, they have to give you some money. Sometimes that happens. And there's a lot of different ways to score, so you're always looking toward that as well. The game looks pretty simple. The artwork is stylistic, and it's just a card game, but it's a really good one.
Yeah. I had it on my wish list a long time ago.
Well, there you go.
That. I wanted to try that, but I haven't played that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, now we've talked about it because it's by a lesser-known publisher.
All right. So my number 6 is a game. This game has got a little bit of positive buzz through the negative buzz because it re-implemented Glenmore.
Glenmore,
and then the Glenmore designer. I don't know what happened there exactly, but I feel the Glenmore designer was a little bit too rushing too much into conclusions. I didn't like that what the Glenmore designer did. So that's where I said I'm not gonna play or buy any games from that designer anymore. But the game I'm going to talk about is Lone Architects.
Is what? Lone Architect?
Lone Architects.
Oh, okay.
Lone Architects is basically a homage to Glenmore. At that point, the Glenmore was basically out of print. And there was a guy who made a Kickstarter, and he even mentioned the game. Like, it's inspired by that. It's like Glenmore. The rondel, you go around that, you're trying to build your space base and so on. And it's a nice one.
Yeah.
It made some improvements and Glenmore is understood. And I like, placing down the tiles and trying to connect them somehow and getting the resources and doing the rondel mechanic as well. Sure. And the theme was cooler than Glenmore. and the game looked
I mean,
more interesting than Glenmore. Yeah, so
I like Glenmore, but it doesn't exactly have an exciting theme stuck on it.
I haven't played Glenmore, but maybe this game is a better one. Anyway, Lone Architects, check it out. I think that game was published by Arcade Games, but because the Kickstarter said that this game will not be available anywhere else, because it was like a one-time print, because he really wanted to give people back the Glenmore. But he can't print Glenmore, but he made an homage to Glenmore basically, which is really cool. I like that, and I would say the Glenmore publishers and the designers should have been more friendlier towards that.
Okay.
So that's why I'm negative towards them now. Okay, a little bit.
All right. Well, are we moving on to number 5?
Yes.
Okay. So number 5. There's a couple on this list that I had to put on just because I don't think the publisher is that well known. I think this game is pretty well known. The publisher, however, is Serious Pulp.
I know that publisher. Yeah.
You know that publisher? Do you know the only game that publisher has really produced?
I heard about that one. I know it, but I cannot tell it. It's like
the game is called Seventh Continent.
Yeah, that's the
I mean, we've talked about it before, but it is a great game from a publisher that's not all that well known. I mean, this is really their one hit. I haven't really heard of them outside of this game and the new one that I guess is Seventh Continent later. It's made a lot of money and done a lot of good for the company. I guess it has Steam Torpedoes. Well, I certainly haven't played that. But I love this game. It's a fine game. It's a great exploration game, although there are some games that have kind of, like we talked about last time, maybe even replaced it for me. But it's a good exploration story, choose your own adventure, explore the land type game from a publisher that's not all that well known.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm gonna agree on that, because Serious Pulp is, in my opinion, well known because of that game, because this game is such a huge success, and I try to avoid such games, even if it's the only game from that publisher. Because if games are a huge success, then that publisher basically kind of know, because they made like millions and millions. So, but it's your list.
It is my list, and I put it on there.
Okay.
Because it's a great game from a lesser-known publisher.
Yeah, cannot agree on that. Anyway, no, it's a matter of opinions. But my number 5 is from a Finnish publisher. He's not well known. He's known. He's like Finnish Ryan Lockett. He makes his own development.
Tale of Merchants?
It is Tale of Merchants.
Okay.
Yeah, there was another game I thought about choosing, but I thought Tale of Merchants is a.
Tale of Merchants is better than the other one.
Dawn of Peacemakers is a bit too obscure in design, but it's not a bad game. You just have to understand that game.
It's boring, but
no, it's not. No, I played this 2-player game. It was really cool. I like that very much. But Tale of Merchants is a deck building game. With anthropomorphic animals. We also did a Blender segment on that. We tried to highlight games that aren't. It has the Dice Tower Seal of Excellence, but how many players know about Samuel Oxo and Snowdale Design? He did Tale of Merchants. He's Dawn of Peacemakers.
I know about them.
Yeah, but not many of the people know about Tale of Merchants as well. But I mean, like, the publisher is not well known, but.
Yeah.
This is a great game about kind of a set collection, and you're trying to get those different sets, like a race to the sets, race to the points, and then you have the different decks, which do different stuff. They are concentrated on different aspects of the game, and then you mix those decks together in order to create the one big deck and kind of that sort of a game.
Yep.
So
it's a good game.
They love Merchants. My number 5.
All right.
Number 4.
Okay, here we go. Number 4 is a game called a company called Cambridge Game Factory. It's a company that famously no longer exists.
They made a game about the English men.
No, they made a game about Romans. The game is Glory to Rome.
Oh, yeah, never heard about them.
It is a well-known game from a not well-known company that has had some problems. I don't even know what happened.
I started to write gory to Rome. I don't know why.
Well, that's a different game. That's Gores Maximus.
Yeah.
So this is, I mean, we've talked about it before. Many people know about the game, but it's a game with multi-use cards from Carl Chudik, and that's what you're doing. You're playing the cards for their different things. You can put them in the different sides of your board, and they have a different function based upon whether they're on the left, the right, the top, the bottom. You are drafting the cards you get, then you discard them to the middle where other people can buy them. And you're just trying to score points, and there's a bunch of different roles. It has that sort of leader-follow mechanism where somebody will declare a role and everybody else can follow if you want to. It's just a really good game, and it's a dragon that people have been chasing ever since this one came out. And it's just never, even though there have been games that have tried really hard, including when you mentioned Loon Architects, it was almost, this import-export is almost the same thing for Glory to Rome, where it really tried to recreate it for people in an available package, but it didn't quite get there. This is the game. This is the famously out of print game from a famously not well known company.
Yeah.
I have a couple other games from them too. They're not nearly as good.
Yeah, I just realized it's the previous one as well. The previous few choices, like having a big game. Like for me, like for example, there's a publisher Ludically, if you know Ludically. Yeah. They made Archipelago. Archipelago is a well-known game,
but the
company is not so well known, to be honest.
Yeah,
people know about Earth Reborn was obscure. Living Planet right now is kind of obscure. It didn't go off so well, so people kind of know about and that's where I would still consider it.
I game on my short list, but I don't remember which one it was now.
I just skipped Ludically because I think it's on the line, like it's on the edge of
Well, for me, it was good games from lesser known publishers, and so that's kind of how I went with it. Even if the game is relatively well known, this is not a publisher that many people have heard of.
Yeah, just go with the feeling because it's such a subjective list, Okay, so my number 4 is a game from a not so well-known publisher, and this game, I feel this game is forgotten.
Arkham Horror.
Yeah, Arkham Noir. By the way, it's the that's nice one. That's not a well-known publisher.
It's not.
I forgot about that
game.
But... No, the one who made Arkham Noir or something like that. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I missed that. I would put the Cosmogenesis. I would put Ludonova, if you know Ludonova.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they're really small. They're not so well known. Cosmogenesis is a nice game. Anyway, maybe I skipped that. Ludonova is French.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe.
Anyway, what's your number 4?
Yeah, my number 4 is Patch History.
Oh.
I think this game is kind of forgotten.
Game from a not known publisher.
It is. The Danko Games. What else did they do? Some weird games.
Yeah.
Anyway, Patch History is a civilization game where you are patching your civilization with the different cards, putting them up and under, and then trying to, uncover or cover a few spots, and then getting incomes in different aspects of things like culture, coins, military, whatever, economy, industry, and so on. And you're getting those great people and wonders as well, which give you special abilities. And there's the war track and the merchant track. You go on, so you can have a little bit of diplomacy with other people, or you can attack other people, and so on. You have to balance that. It's very Euro-y. It has cool auction as well. it had some problems, and it was a little bit tad long, and it
It was
has
a little bit long. It was a lot long.
yeah. I mean, like, it should have been streamlined more, and I hope so much. I hope so much that somebody picks this game up at some point and reprints that game and develops it a little bit further, because it's such a neat idea and it's such a cool different civilization game that I would definitely get back into my collection if it was more streamlined and
Sure.
redone a little bit.
It's a good game, but it's one that I could never get played. It was so big and so hard to teach and it took so long that it was very difficult to play.
But once you get into it, it's not a difficult game.
You're assuming that people play games more than once.
Yeah, I mean, after the first play, I was like, oh, now I totally get the game. It's not so hard once you start playing, but explaining the game is so hard.
Right.
I feel like that. Okay, so what's your number 3?
My number 3, and this is another one I'm not sure you'll agree with, although you might even know the publisher by name. But I don't think most people will. The publisher is Navu Games.
Oh yeah, I've checked. They are known.
They're known?
Yeah, you have Reckoning or Reckoning.
No, I'm putting Stockpile on here.
Did you put Stockpile?
Yeah.
I thought about Stockpile, but I feel like they are.
See, it's such a small company. I don't think many people know the company. I just don't think the company is as well known as perhaps. I mean, I like 2 of their 3 games, and they're this is a game that is pretty well known, but I don't think the company is all that well known. It's just 2 guys, and I mean
it's quite known.
In the game has done very well.
Yeah.
I do not think that makes the company well known, though. And it is a great game about stocks and buying them and selling them and some insider trading. And the Reckoners is also good. I'm not a fan of Crosstalk, though. So
yeah, it's a great game. I would definitely pick this game for my basically number 1, I would say even. But I feel like this is not from a less known publisher. I mean, like, they are kind of well known because of Stockpile, and then the Reckoners as well. So,
well, I don't think they are. So
that's where we disagree.
The next game, the next 2 games. Well, the next game for sure you'll agree with me on. So I'm all right for number 2.
Okay, that's fine. All right. I hope it's not the game about those tentacles and aliens and
Consenticle? No, it's not Consenticle. That's not.
Thank you. We're trying to be more family friendly channel.
Well, the list is about good games, not just obscure games.
True, but you never hid your excitement about that tentacle game. Anyway,
I love that game for its theme because it's different, but the game itself isn't very much fun.
Anyway, let's go to my number 3. And my number 3 is from a Polish publisher, Galacta. I play a few of their games, and I think they're a localization company, like a publisher localizing all the different popular games in Poland. They're quite big, and they also, I think they did this War of Mine with Awaken Realms.
Okay.
Or distribution or printing or something like that. I don't know how much part they were in. I think the Awaken Realms made the game, and they, Galacta is like kind of a distribution or publishing in Poland, But the game I'm going to talk about is Age of Thieves.
You like this game. I think you're the only person in the world who plays it, but
I don't have it. I haven't played it in a.
You're the only person I know who's played it.
I gifted it to one friend a long time ago because he adored the game, and I was like, and he didn't have any games. I'm like, maybe I should give it to him so I can come visit him, and then we can play this game. So,
all right.
But this game, because it reminds me of kind of like the video game Thief and the Assassin's Creed as well. It's kind of a mix of that. You have your thieves, and then you are trying to get the crystals, the small crystal, and then you're trying to get the Emperor's Jewel or whatever it is, and then you have the guards, and then once you get the jewel, the alarm goes off, and then you need to find the exit of the map, and then you're using the sewers. You have different abilities. The cool part about that, the cards are really cool, and it's very thematic. The cards are very thematic. The ability cards, the skill cards, and how you also do that on your turn. You have your cubes that you assign to different. It's like in Rising Sun when you assign different coins into the battle, into different actions. Here you also assign cubes. Whoever has more cubes, like for example, if I have 6 cubes on that action and nobody else has, everybody else has less than 6 cubes on any action that they have, then I'm the first one to go with that action. So whatever action has the most cubes will go first, and so on, down to 0 basically. And there's the NPC player. These are the guards, and they also have a certain amount of cubes put on them, and then kind of when they go, and you can anticipate that. But if you use too many cubes on a particular action, then you won't have them to use on them on a different action. So do you spread your cubes out and trying to avoid things, or you concentrate on that one action, so you can be first to do that. I like that a lot. And as you can see, it has those different cool kind of a thematic, little bit Assassin's Creed medieval type things going on there.
Okay.
Age of Thieves.
Someday I'll play this game, I'm sure.
Yeah, and as I said, Galacta is, as you can see, their top games are Twilight Imperium and Star Wars Rebellion, so they are more like distributors.
Yeah.
Of in Poland, but yeah, their own games that they published aren't well known, and they aren't well known in the board game world as a publisher, as it is. Okay, so let's go to number 2.
All right, number 2. I think you'll finally agree with me again. We're back from my deviation. The publisher is Mariucci J Designs.
Mariucci J.
Yeah, the game is called Hexplore It.
Okay, I've heard about that.
Well, you've heard about it from me. Hexplore It is a game. It's basically a solo or multiplayer role-playing game in a box. You've got a board. Hexplore It. I would go Valley of the Dead King. That's the one most people know. That's the first one.
Okay.
When I say most people know, I don't think very many people know. But
okay,
it doesn't look amazing, but it really is. And what you've got going on is in this one in Dead King, you've got to build your character up. You've got a character with all these stats, and you're going to go through and do these quests. That's that sort of bottom row, and you're trying to avoid this. The Dead King. He'll eventually show up and kind of destroy the board and then chase you. And your goal is to build your own character up enough so that you are able to fight him and defeat him once he shows up. There's also another one, the Valley of Mion. I can't. It's about fairies, and it's actually better than the first one, but they're both pretty good. And it's basically a chance for a person like me who never plays role-playing games, because I don't have anybody I can play them with, to sit down and play one. Because the game allows you to create your character and build it up however you want, focus on whatever you want, use your special abilities. And sort of the key mechanism of the game is that all of your stats are on a whiteboard, and you're just erasing them as you're improving things. So definitely not a game that a lot of people have even heard of the game, I would say. And certainly not a household name in terms of a publisher.
Okay.
Am I forgiven for my past transgressions?
yeah. Never played it. Yeah, it is kind of. I mean, like, I've heard about it from you, and
I've been talking about it for a couple of months now, but
yeah. I've heard about it a long time ago. I mean, like just exploring the Essen releases and things, and so. But yeah, okay. Anyway, my number two is a game called Joe Span. No, I'm kidding.
Huh?
It's like Wingspan. But it's like
It's there, isn't it?
it's about the bears and tigers, and they have a jaw span, and then like no.
All right, my number one.
Okay, my real number two is a game from what's the company called? I always forget that company's name. It's obscure.
Well, we are doing a list about obscure companies. You should at least look those up.
No, I looked it up and then I forgot. It's Off the Rails. Off the Rails is a game, and they were on Kickstarter. Rotten Games, yeah. And Off the Rails is a purple game, as you can see. It's a lot of purple.
Oh my goodness!
Oh,
it's purple, but that looks horrible.
It's is it?
We had a discussion about what garish means. That is garish.
It's prototypes. This is the tabletop simulator thing going on there. I don't know where's the real game. This one, yeah. So basically, this game is about you have those small Baggins cards, and then you the dice show the speed of the card, and then you are building those rails, and the crystals come up each time, and then you take the card and you see what crystals come up and where. And then you put those crystals there, and then you're trying to collect those crystals, and they have different values. And that's the point, basically. That's the whole game. But sometimes there's also those black crystals are coal. And coal is just taking space in your cart. And you have only a certain amount of space in your cart. So at some point, you have to go in, pick up crystals, and go out. If you go out and you still have crystals in your cart, then you can collect them and put them behind your screen.
Okay.
Before that, they're still in your cart. You cannot score them in any way. But you can collide with each other. When you collide with each other, the crystals are falling off your card and so on. And there's different rules on how you collide. If you bump into somebody, or you both bump into each other, or you go off the rails and so on. Really cool, fun things. It's very thematic.
So why is the board made out of Laffy Taffy?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't look so bad. It looks worse in the picture, but it looks better in person. And it's a really cool game. I like that. Eventually, the cave will collapse, and you need to get out. But you have two cards, and then you have to manipulate things and you can upgrade the tracks as well. So.
Hey, I love purple as much as the next guy. It's one of my favorite colors, but that game looks really quite striking.
Yeah. I asked the designer, and he said, yeah, I really like purple, and I went crazy with purple. I said, yeah, maybe next time you should go with less purple.
I mean, that's purple on purple on purple. Okay. Well.
Indeed. But I mean, really, you should if you get the game somewhere, you should try it, because it's a really fun game. It's a really fun game. Okay. Off the Rails, my number two.
All right. Number one is back into my territory that's gray, but I bet you have not heard of this company. The company is Karma Games.
Oh, I thought you'd say it's web published.
No,
company called Web Published.
No, the company is called Karma Games. It's a game that got some buzz, but I think you've heard about it more from me than I would have wager you have from other people. It's very popular in my little group. I have a friend who really loves it too. It's a small German company, small print run. The game is artwork by your favorite board game artist, Mr. Clemens Franz, and the game is Clans of Caledonia.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's a quite popular game, but it's not.
It's a popular game by a company that nobody's heard of.
Yeah, I can agree on that, because the game itself is not. It is very popular, but on the other hand, it's not talked about very much. It's
So
It's there.
it's a great little game. It's got uncover things and get bonuses, which is of course, as you know, one of my favorite things in games. But what you're doing is you're expanding your terrain and you are moving out. You're deciding what you want to produce. You can send out cows if you want to produce milk. You can send out sheep if you want to produce wool.
Of course.
Can build cheese factories that can turn the milk into cheese. And then there's contracts you've got, and you're trying to complete the contracts, and you're trying to use your money, which keeps you going. Money just really allows you to do stuff in the game. It's not really worth very much in terms of points. But really what you're trying to do is use your own special ability, because there's a lot of different special abilities, and you're trying to expand and get points in every way you can and fulfill those contracts early, because they get expensive later and you have a much lesser return in late game, which is really interesting because as soon as you're able to do stuff, it automatically scales itself up to be more expensive. It's a really good game. It's in a tiny box. I really would not mind if there were an expansion, although I don't know where I would put it. But even as it is, if the expansion were just 10 more clan powers, I think that's all I would really want from an expansion. I wouldn't want it to change the game very much. But other than another game called Green Deal, it's the only one I know that they've produced. Oh, there, you got it already. That they've produced, and it's a fantastic game. One of my favorite games, and the top of my list of games, good games from lesser known publishers.
Yeah. As you can see, it's a very popular game, but I haven't heard about this game at all in recent. Like, it came out, it was a blast, and then.
You want me to talk about it on? I've played this game a few times this year already. It's just a game that keeps coming back to my table.
Yeah, I think people are starting to getting tired of these kinds of.
I'm not.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially this one.
Right.
I'll admit the theme isn't all that original or all that captivating, but the gameplay itself is really good.
I had Flag Dash, Kaleka, Off the Rails, Age of Thieves. These are really cool themes, to be honest.
Well, I had Clans of Caledonia. You're making cheese and whiskey.
Oh, what a nice theme. Anyway,
and balancing beasts on a platform. Come on.
Yeah, that was nice. That was the only nice.
Again, we're not talking. The list isn't about unique game themes.
It's not. No. But we can do some show off. Anyway, my number one is a game from a company called Looping Games.
Okay, is this mole game that you would like to talk about?
Oh yes.
Okay.
It's the same as yeah. It's Top10. But Looping Games is not so well known. They did some 19XX series. It's not like 18XX. 19XX. These are small boxes of like they're like almost like
18XX games. They're very different.
Yeah, like they are. Yeah, they call them 19XX series, but these are almost like tiny epic series. The same, like small box, but a big game in a box. But they are even bigger.
Small, always white box.
What?
Always white box.
Yeah, kind of white, and then yeah.
Very white boxes. Those boxes stand out.
Yeah, but anyway,
dark.
Yeah. But anyway, if we talk about Top10, it's also not well-known game, to be honest. But it's
unless
really
somebody talk to you for more than about 2 minutes, and then it's well-known. But
yeah, it's a really cool game about moles trying to see each other, and then if they see each other from a longer distance, then you score more points, and then you are trying to kill each other, kinda, and then you can come back and build a new line of sight and so on. It's very fun. And the game, you can customize the game because the game comes with a bunch of different decks, and there's the expansion as well, which adds even more decks. And you can make a game more tactical, less aggressive, or more aggressive, and so on, or more strategic, and so on. So you can customize the game however you want. If there are players who are not into killing each other all the time, then you can put in just one deck of attacks, because some attacks must still be there, because otherwise it will be a little bit unbalanced. Whoever starts first is in a better position, or sorry, last. But anyway, cool game, cool theme. It's a different game. It's from Looping Games, which is probably well known in Spain, but not so widely.
I mean, I know it because I like their 19XX series. I like a couple of the games in that.
I like that, but even they are obscure. These games are obscure.
I know the company, but I don't think most people do.
Okay, what do you like from Looping Games?
I like the Channel one. I like the Channel one, and I like the Race to the South Pole or whatever, where you have to eat the dogs.
Amundsen versus Scott.
Yeah, I like that one.
And Channel Tunnel. I haven't played Channel Tunnel. I haven't.
No, it's not. Is it? Was it Amundsen versus Scott? It might have been. Yeah, it was. That's the one where you eat the dogs. And then Channel Tunnel. I really like Channel Tunnel.
Okay, and I haven't got to their. I mean, they're not so widely distributed, so I haven't got.
They didn't print Fantasy Realms. That was a WizKids game. They must just be distributing it.
It's Spanish company, so they kind of distribute a few things. But I haven't
Fantasy
played.
Fantastic, but it's not from them.
I haven't played the Channel Tunnel or US or San Francisco. I've only played Amundsen and then Wall Street, and then
I agree with you.
No, my connection with the company was kind of a cut. I don't know why, but eventually I had this as review copies, I think. Yeah, and then eventually they just didn't respond to me anymore, and then okay, whatever. But yeah, San Francisco.
They responded to me when I went on their website and placed an order.
Of course, I want to try all of these. I feel like I liked Wall Street as well.
Channel Tunnel is their best one, I think. But
yeah, I want to play all of their
Twilight Struggle-like game. It's that type of game that I just really like.
They have really their games don't look like extremely appealing, but
no, they don't.
They have smart design. I mean, like they have something cool going on about them, something different from the usual games that we get. They have unique style.
Okay.
All right. So that's our top 10 games from less known publishers.
Good games from less known publishers.
Yes, and you can agree. You might not agree with some of the picks, and I don't agree with all the picks. I agree with my picks.
All of mine.
Yeah, the same. So anyway, that's that. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you another time, another episode of Würfel Cast. It will be episode 19, and then we will hit the episode 20.
Yeah, that's how numbers work.
And during episode 20, we should do something special because it's a round number.
Okay.
Something. Great. I don't know.
Let's work on 19 first.
Yeah, but then we're gonna play Incentical through Zoom or something like that.
We're gonna what?
Play Incentical. How was that game about tentacles?
Incentical. I don't think it's not that much fun. That is a game that I like just because of its theme. The game itself is pretty bad, actually.
Yeah, we should try to play something through the kind of this online establishment. I don't know how.
Let's not have it be Consentical.
Yeah, maybe Tabletopia or something like that.
Yeah, we should try that sometime. I've never really used it, but I'd be willing to try it.
Cool. But anyway, see you another time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.